Hello everybody, I'm back with another video for you today, and I figured it would be quite cool to just play quite a few games over the next few days with some of the decks that I showcased in the meta snapshot video. Go check that out if you haven't already, of course. But yeah, for today I've got a mid-range NR deck, really good at kind of shutting down a lot of the opponent's stuff, a lot of damage to use, and reset with Baron as well, and your own engines with Reynard, Anna, and some bronze cards there, Trident, Kira, etc. Some really nice combinations of cards. That Redeyah Prince Ansei's combination with either the engineering solution stratagem or tactical advantage is really powerful, can knock through defenders if you need to, or smash big tall units at the end of the game. We've got the Bomb Heaver to deal with the scenarios, we've got the Pella to get through defenders. A lot of really good tools in this deck. The key is going to be trying to save as much of that gold power for round 3 as possible, or even maybe a round 2 push or that kind of thing. And yeah, just very solid deck, allowing you to get some long round value with the Scytheman and the Visigoth, as well as the more short round value with that Redeyah burst and, Fallible, etc. So, pretty straightforward deck, but definitely going to be quite a fun one and quite powerful, I think. So, let's jump into a couple of games and see how it plays. Alright, our first opponent's going to be Blood Money.
You just picked a fight with the wrong kind of Skelliger.
Definitely we're going to be able to beat Syndicate because we have a lot of tools that can deal with their stuff. We've got Fallible to get through their defender, Bomb Heaver to maybe deal with Passiflora. I think I'm going to mulligan Caro Ballista first. It's quite a good card, I don't mind drawing that later on in the game. And the rest of the hand's pretty reasonable. Maybe Ballista can also go, although that could be useful for setting up my Cintrian Knight. We'll see how it goes. We're going to play the Trident and, we'll see. We can maybe bully the opponent a bit because my hand is very powerful. Can definitely think about going with a Reynard or whatever. We might be able to snipe a, Street Urchins with the Cintrian Knight. That would be quite nice, if it is possible. Otherwise we'll, we'll see what happens here. Gonna be a Kalkstein first,
you
okay.
base your contention on erroneous assumptions.
That's not too threatening. I'll probably just go with the Trident. I don't mind too much if this does die.
To arms!
Obviously it can be quite nice later with Akira, but I don't have her right now. I'd rather just get him down, maybe get my Reynard value onto that if we want to play that this round. Otherwise we can probably go with a Pella, Cintrian Knight kind of thing. Pella just to, get rid of a poison is not too bad here. And we can probably then decide whether we actually want to push more or just take an early pass. The opponent's not really developing carryover, it seems, so I think Pella here is pretty good. We can go with that Reynard next if it makes sense to, otherwise maybe just take it chill, play a bad card and pass, because our hand is very good, so we have to commit to either approach, either pushing here or just playing the bad stuff and passing. It really depends what card he plays next, I think. Could even go with a big Fallible plate, possibly, if that would be making sense. It's going to be Uold coming down. That's a pretty powerful card, all things considered, so I think we can probably just afford to play Cintrian Knight here, and then take the pass. Our long round should, in theory, be a bit better than Blood Money's. We have a lot of the tools in our hand to deal with everything. Got the Bomb Heaver, got the Fallible, so I think I'm quite okay to just play a bad card now and take the pass. If he does, let us win the round, then it's not even that good for us. If he does pass here, we'll have to end up playing something pretty good. Probably Philippa or Fallible to make the points. But, he doesn't have any carryover, so he would then be in a pretty weak position in terms of being bled by us. I think I will just take the pass now. So as I said, I don't really want to commit too much. I mean, I could also go in with Fallible, that's an option. The only problem with that is then I don't have a good, effective answer for his defender. So I think I'm just going to pass out of here. We did kind of trade up a little bit in terms of provisions, and he didn't develop too much carryover, so I'm quite okay with the result here. Our hand is very powerful, so all we need now is like a Prince for the Redeyah. Scytheman's honestly not too bad. Probably get rid of the Sergeant, the Mauler, maybe Mauler, maybe Sergeant first. And we have Ansays now, that's really cool. We can take another mulligan here. Although having a bronze or two here is not bad either. So I think I'll keep actually. Just to get rid of this, you know, on the dry pass or as an early play. We don't want to kind of overcommit here.
Looks like some light reading.
Into this round. So I think, yeah, having the Mauler is quite nice. You know, if I had only golds and Scytheman, then it could be a bit awkward. But Mauler's a good kind of stalling play. See what he does. See if we need to go with a Fallible, or we can just go with a bit of a smaller play like a Reynard maybe.
How many sweet rolls could I get for a diamond?
So even here, I think probably going with just the Scytheman is also okay. It depends, you know, how valuable that will be. It will be very good, that's the thing. It will be a very good card, so we might even consider just playing Reynard here. Reynard's also pretty good in a long round. Kind of forces him to blood money onto that, and it's still a pretty good card, so... Yeah, I think the correct play is probably just to play the Scytheman. I mean, it feels a bit weird, doesn't it?
There's a time to reap,
Probably the weakest card here.
and a time to die.
I know it feels a bit awkward playing it for 3 points, but I think that's okay here, because my hand is just so strong that if he does decide to push, we're definitely going to be able to have responses to that push. We won't be in too much trouble. Well, honestly, if he goes with Passiflora here, it's a bit scary, just because he'll have double Seductress on the board then, and I'm a bit late in answering them. But I think he'll probably be a bit afraid to do that. Just gonna get the pass, okay. So hand is looking very, very solid. Of course, we'd like to get maybe Anna, Kira, those would be ideal. Honestly, maybe even the Forbidden Magic. That can pose a real problem for him now that he doesn't have Uold anymore. So yeah, we'll probably get rid of the Kedweni Sergeant, don't think it's too useful here. Royal Guard is okay, so we'll probably mulligan Temple Guard first. And the Ballista doesn't do too much for us, probably we'll get rid of that here. Kira's a good one. So we can probably just start things off quite slowly with Royal Guard, I think. Maybe Royal Guard, Redeyah into Kira, or we could also go Redeyah first into Reynard into Kira, but he'll probably, you know, use blood money anyway on the Reynard, so we don't need to worry too much about getting that down early, I think.
Fall overboard and I'm not jumping
He could
in
choose to
after
go with Leader onto the Royal Guard, that might be a play for him. Very important that we have the Bomb Heaver to deal with Passiflora, that's where a lot of his points will come from here. That and the Soul, of course. But we do have the answer to the Defender, which is
Soon you
quite
shall
nice.
transform and receive the gift of life.
So we'll go ahead and just deal with that immediately so that we have the efficient way to answer Passiflora. Could use the Royal Guards, but I think that will give him a bit more poison value, especially if we're planning on using Kira on Fallible. Probably isn't really worth it. I'd rather use it on the Bomb Heaver, I
Nothing
think.
tickles my tits quite like a good secret.
So we'll Bomb Heaver now, and I think we can definitely choose to boost, just to get another boosted unit, or we can save it for potentially Ansays. I don't think it makes too much of a difference. I mean, if he uses Leader on Royal Guard, it's kind of fine, because then our Reynard will maybe live. It might also get stolen by Philippa, that's something we should be careful of here in this round. Philippa can be a lot of points. But we've dealt with the Passiflora pretty effectively there. We can go with Philippa next, maybe onto Seductress, try to finish off that engine. It'd be quite nice if he plays like a Fist Tech now or something, then we get the guaranteed Philippa kill. And we're not super interested in getting the Reynard or the Kira down, you know, super early, because maybe... Oh wow, he's actually going to go with the Leader onto Royal Guard. So, works out for us pretty nicely actually. Now the only issue here is the Redanian might die to Philippa, and that would kind of lose us a lot of value, so we could think about waiting on Philippa, but right now the chances of killing Seductress are pretty good, so I think I'm going to take them. Definitely seems like a good plan. We lost a bit of value there, but that's not too big of a deal. I imagine this game will be pretty close. It's going to come down a lot to how much value the Philippa gets, I think. We can kind of answer Saul with Baron, we can answer the Savolla Louisa stuff with, you know, Redeyah, Anses.
I've got the whole world in my hands.
But yeah, the Philippa's a bit of a tricky one to deal with. So perhaps let's go with the Reynard now. I think that'll make sense. And we can probably put it here to give us options. Yeah, I think this is looking good. I'm not going to get the full value with Kira realistically, but at this point it's quite hard for him to actually deal with Reynard without the Uold. So that's going to stick around for a turn or two, and then he's going to have to decide between, you know, using his Philippa on our Reynard or maybe on one of the big vitality units.
Sit back, close your eyes. I'll wash you all away.
Alright. So the Imke is quite scary, that's 2 points per turn. He doesn't have a Saul on the board. I'd probably like to deal with Saul with Baron anyway. I think we definitely do want to get the Redeyah down at some point, but let's maybe go with Kira to start here. I'm a bit scared of the Philippa. It's just a lot of points, but yeah, maybe let's do it anyway. He's going to get a lot of points from Philippa one way or another, and if we don't play the Kira sooner rather than later, then we're going to just end up missing a lot of value. So I think this is worth it. We can then go with Prince Anses onto Imke potentially. And, you know, just use Redeyah for a boost onto a different unit. And he might also not even have the Philippa. Or he might prefer to take Reynard with it.
You do not deserve
so now that he has no coins, we don't really care so much about... Oh, sorry about that. We don't care so much about the Saul, because he won't have coins for it. So really we've got to ask the question, what do we want to deal with Anses? We probably would like to deal with the Imke, just because... a bit of a scary threat really, isn't it? Just that amount of coins is not going to be nice for me to deal with. I think if we go for this now, it's going to allow us to Visagard and kill Louisa, if he has that. And at that point we probably have enough points to win, I would imagine. That being said, it will be a bit trickier to kill Louisa because of the Reynard buff, of course. So we're going to have to use our leader kind of ability now. Which is, you know, not necessarily ideal, but it's definitely good that we can actually kill that Louisa before the free Savolla trigger comes down. It's quite important. Alright. So pretty huge Visagard value here. That's definitely going to be the swing that we needed. And dealing with that finisher is very nice. It's going to mean he has a lot less points. We might go Baron on back row here, or we can go for Redeyah on, you know, back, go for tactical advantage and get the Baron buff that way. We'll see what we expect from him here. If he has, you know, money, we might avoid playing the Baron just in case of a surprise Marius or something like that. Otherwise, grabbing the extra point on that is probably worthwhile. Gonna be Bank, that's pretty good for him. Allows him to get his coins up, which... then again, not if he's taking a Sea Jackal with it.
Just take the whole finger.
Alright, let's go with our Baron. I think it should be safe. There's not really anything that can disrupt that. Apart from a lock, I suppose, but lock is very, very rare in Syndicate. Kind of not too much in the way of locks for them. And just going to be Pickpocket into Savolla as the finisher, I suppose. But we've got a really nice reset with the Baron onto the Seductress, and we can finish off with this pretty huge Redeyah as well. Magic Lamp going to be very good. And yeah, we're winning by a very large amount actually. I find often with this deck you don't quite realise how far ahead you are. You know, we looked like we were quite far behind in points, but oh, at the end I'm 35 points up, you know, not counting his Savolla. Pretty good stuff. We had all the efficient answers there to him and just kind of shut him out of the game. Let's jump into another one and see if we can do it again. Alright, next we're going to be up against Ursine Ritual. We do get the red coin, which is quite nice. We won't have to play as kind of scared and without committing so much from round 1 necessarily. We'll see what the opponent goes for, but let's definitely try to improve the hand a bit. We can probably keep the Enchantress infantry combo. I think I'll get rid of Royal Guard. Not a bad top deck later on, and probably Ballista as well. Kind of getting rid of our best, worst cards and the least situational stuff. So we can definitely play this hand out. We have got the Kira and the Trident and the Enchantress all on Trident is really powerful if we can make that work. But we need to be a bit cautious and not overcommit here because there's going to be a lot of points coming with Lippy and, with Ceres, and potentially all the other golds. We'll see how things go here. Can probably just immediately kill this longship. I don't really want to deal with that. And we might even find this isn't, it might not be an actual Lippy deck. It might just be an engine focused version of, of this stuff. We'll see what happens with that. I think we can probably safely go with Trident. It might die and that would kind of feel quite bad, but I don't think there's too much we can do about it. We could, start with the Sergeant. I'm a bit scared of doing that because of the possibility of Primal Savagery. If he is playing Longships, it's possible he plays that card. And that would be very punishing. If he could ping the Sergeant and kill it with that. But yeah, we'll see what he goes for here. Hopefully Trident sticks and then we can get some nice value from it, but I guess that's not happening here. So we don't really have too much else to go with other than the Reynard. We could also go with the Sergeant. The Sergeant now still feels quite bad if he has Savagery, but I guess we've got to take that risk at this point. It might have been better to go with this before the Trident, truthfully, and just say that he probably doesn't have that card. So now we get to see whether he is actually a Lippy deck or not. Yeah, it is. It is going to be Lippy, so we can decide to play on a little bit more, I suppose. We can also decide to pass pretty soon, but we could probably play one more card here. Maybe get a bit more from the opponent before passing to the round 3. Haven't got too much from him here, so his push will be quite scary, but at the very least we've got rid of a lot of our bronzes, which is definitely a good thing. We want that kind of all gold hand to defend the push and hopefully gain a card eventually.
Sure, you can pet him. Long as you
Alright,
don't
so I think
mind
we're going to
losing
just
an
take the
arm.
pass now. Knickers comes out, which is quite good for us actually. Means there's a little bit less, in round 2 to hurt us. But we're going to have to deal with a lot, Ceres, Wildkarl potentially, yeah. Gonna be quite painful. We'll see though, if we can survive. We're gonna get rid of bronzes here. Bomb Heaver's pretty bad in this matchup. The hand is not excellent, we're kind of missing a lot of golds, but we'll see what we can do with it.
Need a good slapping.
Probably just start with the Siege Tower, something chill, then into Reynard possibly. Could also go with the Falibor to match the tempo that the opponents, put out here. Into then Reynard Kira. I kind of like that line of play as well. It's quite an aggressive line, I suppose, but it's also probably quite good. I don't want to be too slow on my Kira play, and we need an extra body to make that really good.
I shan't fail.
So I think we do want to do this, just because otherwise we're going to be a little bit behind in points here. And yeah, it kind of sucks to not have Falibor for round 3, but hopefully we can rely maybe on Redeyah and Says to answer Wildkarl and get us points that way. We'll see. At this point he's offering us potentially the chance to actually get our card, so I think I'm going to try to take that, just killing this Protector. And we do end up losing our target for Cintrian Knight, but that's not the end of the world. We can potentially get it again with Ballista. So now here he can go with Wildkarl. Would be kind of annoying, but I'll probably end up playing Reynard if he does that.
Honor and glory.
Yeah, we can potentially still go with Reynard now, just to get that long round value.
Majesty is.
We've got to be very careful of Igni, so I'm going to turn on the, the special view here, so that we can see if we're playing into that. Got to be careful not to. We don't have to play the Kira just yet until we see kind of a big play. Okay, that's a pretty big play. In that case, we're probably quite happy to go with the Kira now. Not quite playing into Igni. We've got to be careful though of that, for sure. This will get us ahead. We're now in Igni range, but we've just got to make sure it doesn't get too much value. That's definitely how we would lose this game, I think.
Get him, Wojtek!
So now for sure we want to basically get rid of our weaker cards. So we're only getting 2 kind of passive points here. But, you know, we still have enough if we do go with the Ballista, so that's kind of nice. I think we'll do that then. Oh, actually, I probably should have hit a different unit there. That's my bad. But, you know, not the end of the world. Just because, you know, presuming we want the Cintrian Knight value. Now we're going to get it on the Igni, so it doesn't really matter. But otherwise I would then have to hit the Drum and Shield Maiden and potentially give him a Lippy this round, which could cause a bit of a problem for us. So, what do we want to go for here? We would like to keep the card, that's for sure. So how many points do we need? We're gaining kind of 1 passively right now. So we need 8. So if we play the Siege Tower, it comes down at a 6, 7 because of Reynard, so that's not working. We could play Visigoth, that's probably going to be the way here. He won't be super good next round, so I think we'll go with him. We could use a leader charge as well, but I think that extra point won't be too impactful.
Sintra will rise from the ashes.
There we go. So keeping our lead, keeping our card. The card will be very important for us to win this game. If we can get rid of these bronzes, that would be really nice. You know, Siege Tower's not awful, but Cintrian Knight's pretty bad for sure. But yeah, we managed to get a card here, and we managed to get most of the good stuff. So there's just Lippy and the second Ceres coming, and maybe maybe another card or two that's a bit scary. But we've kind of done our best here. It's going to come down to how well we draw, I think, as to whether we win or not. Let's get rid of the Cintrian boy. He's not too good, and Temple Guard will be difficult to find value from. Baron is... We really would have loved to see some of our actual good cards here, but we'll see what we can do with this. It's not too bad. Let's go with the Carabalista first to set up the Forbidden Magic. We won't have too many ways to get value from this, but you know, possibly has Harold Powell or something from a Harold to make that work. Alright, I think I'll just shoot the bear and not do anything else at this point. Yeah, maybe we should just take the Forbidden Magic. I'm a bit worried he has another bear in hand, and then we'd be giving him quite a bit of value on that play. So possibly the play here is just to play Royal Guard, use 1 leader charge here, to keep our unit out of range of being killed with a Stunning Blow or something. Or Gutting Slash. And we'll see. Do we put him on having a bear or not is kind of the question at this point. What's more likely? Well, he probably won't have a boost for this bear, so I think we can just shoot and call it a day there. And just play Siege Tower now, get the vitality from it. Can probably play in multiple rows at this point. I don't think I want to take Anna, I'd much rather have Redeyah here. Possibly using Redeyah for the damage effect, if we find that, in order to get another Revenant. But we'll see how that goes. Okay, quite a lot of points. Quite a lot of points indeed coming out now. I think we can just go with the Baron. It's not really going to find any value here, unfortunately.
Nothing to lose.
And then we can go with the Revenant next and maybe copy that for a bit of extra value with Prince or with Redeyah. It's going to be a close one. We have more leader value than him, but he does have the mighty Ceres coming, I'm sure. Decoction's not the best card ever there. It's, you know, pretty okay, but nothing too special. So we can take our Forbidden Magic. And we can also probably reset the Carabalista. Not going to do any harm there, I think. I mean, we could also wait on that, but It's what it is. Matter coming, alright.
Cultures connects folk to one another.
Okay, that's actually potentially quite good for us, because we're able to then copy another Revenant here. So we'll go for that now. We'll go for that now. So now we've got to ask the question, is our Royal Decree into Redeyah plus leader more points than his Ritual Ceres? I'm really not sure. Let's find out. I think it's going to be quite a close one, but
I'm ready.
we've definitely done all we can in this game to give us the best chance. So let's go for that Redeyah. I think it's going to be the most points here. Unless Ansays is a guaranteed victory, how many points is it? We've got 2 plus 3 makes 6, 8 basically. 8, 8, 13. Ansays is 4 plus... Yeah, it's basically 4 plus 3, 7, 12. 12 plus 8. 12 plus 8 is 20, so we would not be winning. So we should take Redeyah here. And we need to find the damage option, I believe, to win.
For you, a very special item I
Or maybe
have.
tactical advantage is enough, I didn't calculate. Let's find out. It's very close, I think. Oh, it's a tie. Wow. Some big maths there, but I do believe Prince Ansays was not enough doing the damage and the Revenant ping there, because it was an 8 plus a 4, whereas the Redeyah's a 13. So yeah, Redeyah enough to tie. We would have won that if we got the damage option with the Redeyah, so really cutting it close there, but that was a cool game. Very, very close one. Alright, some fun games there. Definitely a fun and strong deck. As I said in my meta snapshot, it's probably sitting in the tier 3 section. It's got some weaknesses, definitely its inconsistency. You know, if we'd drawn a little bit better in that round 3, would have been a win, most likely, but we didn't get the Ansays, the Anna, etc. So that's definitely a weakness of the deck, but it's a good one, a fun one, and hopefully the games showed that. Either way, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, by the way, if you haven't already. I really do appreciate it. Bye-bye.